This is the Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Yeah, I was playing that solo myself on the air guitar there, Wes. How's it going, man? So good to see you. I'm Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, with me as always, and it's been a while because you've been on vacation and enjoying a little R&R up in the Northeast, and hope you had a great time, man. But it's great to be back with you here on the Lowco Sports Lowdown, and a lot to talk about. But how was that trip, man? You feeling refreshed?
Yeah, it was a great time, except the trip home had a delay because of the thunderstorm came in the other day. But other than that, fantastic trip. Got to go to Rhode Island, went over to Boston and then Connecticut, so kind of all over New England. Stayed over at a nice beach house. It was absolutely beautiful over there, right near Nagasette Bay in Rhode Island. Just absolutely gorgeous over there. And just a great great place to spend a couple days, relax, recharge before we get into this fall sports season. But yeah, I'm pumped to get back as football practice underway now, both in the high school league and SCISA. So we're just a few weeks away from getting these first games in action, and I believe just a little bit 13 days. That's not this Saturday, the next Saturday, we'll have regular season football over in Charleston. So it's coming up quick, but nice to get a little R&R, hang out with some family, see some family that I haven't seen in about 10 years or so. So that's always nice. So yeah, I'm ready to get going with this fall sports season. But New England's beautiful. I mean, especially during the summer, it was a little bit warm at some points, but other than that, it was gorgeous. Weather cooperated. Did some kayaking, went on a nice boat tour. So just a lot of fun, a lot of relaxation.
Giving me the FOMO, man. I was wanting to go kayaking today because I was out at the Jimmy Self Invitational out at Palmetto Dunes, and I saw people kayaking around through there, and I was like, man, that looks like a pleasant time right now. But yeah, glad you had some downtime, because we're definitely cranking up. We're getting ready for the Manic season. We are fired up, and I mean, people don't understand, like, high school football season starts in mid-August, but we have to start in like the start of July to get everything together that we need to be able to be ready to really rock and roll and let everybody know who are the teams to watch, the players to watch, and all that stuff, and feel like we're prepared for the season to be the experts we claim to be.
Do our own preseason, just like the team.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're in our preseason training already, but it's good to see the kids out there. I'd show you some video, but it would be very brief and boring because I got out to Hilton Christian practice the other day, closest one to home, and it started pouring rain as soon as I got there. So I got a few little clips and ran out of there. But I talked to Bryce Liebman later in the day on Friday, and he said he was glad it rained on the first day, because that is an opportunity to show the kids that no matter what, we're going to be out there working. So if you get that in the mindset on day one, that helps get some of it out of the way. But certainly, football season comes fast, and they only get a handful of practices. Obviously, they've done work in the spring and in the summer, but they only get a handful of practices when it really comes down to it to get ready for that season opener. And so they just don't want to waste a minute. I've talked to a number of coaches already, looking forward to reaching out to some of those that I haven't yet, and talking with them a little bit more, getting a feel for their teams. But I mean, it's shaping up like it's going to be a really exciting season. I feel like we're going to have teams who are competitive in each classification, and that's not always the case. Sometimes it's not as spread out. It's a little more consolidated. So we'll talk later in the show, at the end of the show, actually, about which teams we each think have the best shot to get to Orangeburg, South Carolina State, for the high school league state championships, and to presumably Charleston Southern. I hope they're doing the SCISA games there again. Those have been great there. And we'll talk about that at the end of the show. So hang out for that. But a lot of other stuff on tap, and including here in a few minutes, we'll be talking with Alex Percival, our friend who put on the phenomenal Lowcountry Legacy Basketball Tournament yesterday. It was just really scratching the surface of what this thing can be with just 4 teams in it. But I think everybody's going to see that the fun that everybody had. It was just a great event. I think there's going to be a lot of FOMO. I think a lot of people are going to wish they were there. There's going to be a lot of people who claim to have been a part of the first one who are lying to you in about 20 years. Let's just put it that way. But we'll get Alex on here in a little bit and see if we can get any other folks who participated. It was awesome to see some old faces and make some new friends. And Wade Hampton came out on top. So one more for the trophy case, even though the school history is officially over. The Red Devils get one more, and our guy Isaac Gray was out there playing with some cats who played back in the day who can still ball. Let me tell you, it was fun to watch that team. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But we have some news on the basketball front as well. Basketball heavy show tonight, Wes. Jason Grunkemeyer, the basketball coach at Hilton Head Christian Academy, also the AD. You probably have heard by now that he accepted a job as the associate athletic director at the University of Maine, which coincidentally is where Richard Barron, the Hilton Head prep coach who led him to a state championship this year, had previously been the head basketball coach. So, maybe a little networking happening there that fell into place, but unfortunate timing for Hilton Head Christian. But obviously, when you get an opportunity like this, the timing may be unfortunate, but the timing is always right if it's the place you're supposed to be.
Timing is everything, especially when you talk about it for the perspective of a guy like Grunkemeyer and what an opportunity he's going to get going to the college level and working over there at Maine, and that's an opportunity you can't pass up. So we congratulate him on what should be a fantastic next step. Leaving Hilton Head Christian Academy behind, and now it's kind of scramble mode now for the Eagles, as we're just a few weeks out from school starting, just 2-3 weeks before that, and then we get into obviously football practice already underway. You don't have an AD, so it's definitely going to be a challenging time.
They do have a plan on the AD front, and
interim guy
on an interim basis. Yeah. What they're doing is actually really intelligent in my mind, and that is that they're splitting it 3 ways. So they've got 3 folks on staff that they feel are qualified to do the job, but they also have other roles. So none of them feel like they have the bandwidth to do the entire job, right? So Matt Smith and John Hopt and J.W. Wilkerson are all going to take on that role together. And basically, Hop and Smith are on the field during football. So JW will run the show during the fall, and then Matt will run things during the winter, and Hop will run things during the spring. And, I think that's a good division of labor. It also allows them to really split up some duties and assign them to the person of those 3 who is best suited to them. So Matt will kind of be our point of contact for media things. And he's great at that. He loves to shoot the breeze and keep us posted on what's happening. And he's been, filling me in on stuff for 15 years now, stuff that I need to know about. So that's I think that's a smart move. Part of the rationale being that anybody who would accept that job in August, when they already they either don't have a job, which probably for a reason, or they already have a job that they're leaving hanging in August, and they'll probably do the same to you on the way out the door. So, they just want to take a little time and make sure that they get the right person in place there. Now, the basketball coach is a little more pressing, because you've got a number of players on that team, including a few seniors who are on the recruiting radar and need that final push. And a big part of the reason that they were at Hilton Head Christian Academy is because Jason Grunkemeyer was a college basketball coach and could help get them over the finish line. And not having him there is, going to be a point of anxiety until they come out with a plan there. And we'll see what transpires with school about to start, whether everyone actually is satisfied and stays put.
Yeah, it's going to be a big hire. Obviously Grunkemeyer brought a big amount of experience coaching from the college game that, enticed guys like Isaiah Anderson, Keaton Turner to, stay there and work under him and be able to grow in a lot of different ways on the court and off the court. And now it definitely kind of shakes things up, because now you think a possibility of potentially finding other landing spots if things, go in the direction where we can have a chance to go to another public school in the area and, find a way to make a difference there, see what our options are if we don't want to stay. I think there's a couple different levels to it. I think you look at Hilton Christian Academy, just the bonding, especially those seniors. I mean, you want to close out. Yeah. I think there's something to say about closing out your career at the place that you've built it up, especially when you're going to that last year. And these guys have really done a good job being dedicated to that basketball program. Obviously, a couple of different coaches throughout the last few years, Hilton Christian Academy and Grunkemeyer, being the most in terms of maybe prestige over those last few seasons. But these are a group of guys. A lot of them have been here for a while. Not all of them, but you look at guys like Isaiah Anderson leading the way.
He's been at that school for a long time.
Yeah.
And some of them have not been there as long. And so, I think it's everyone's preference to keep the group together and keep them there. I think it's just important that the school, expresses to them that they're bringing on somebody who can help them achieve the goals that brought them there in the first place. So that's always a difficult, balancing act, especially with the private school environment. Where you got people who are there for a reason and they want to be able to achieve that goal. So, but let's shift gears a little bit and we'll first break some news and then we'll talk about the Lowcountry Legacy Basketball Tournament with Alex Percival. Let's get you in here, AP. What is up, man? It's been like a whole day since I saw you. Got to spend the whole day with you yesterday. It was awesome. But we're about to talk about another headline. You hear some thunder cracking over here in Bluffton. It is popping off. So apologies if I lose connection at any point. Wes will take control of the rudder. But we had some breaking news, and you and I talked about it the other day. Your boy Jeremiah Faber coming out of retirement, going to coach the Whale Branch boys next season, and big splash hire for Casey Sullivan, the new AD there at Whale Branch, and I guess you got to assume Fabe is chasing that ring that he was never able to get. So what do you think about that, AP?
With Fabe, you never know with him. He might have hung up his jersey, but coaching is still in him. So it's not surprising that he came out of retirement. And when we first talked about it, it was something that we kind of knew that he probably had an urge to still be out there. But sometimes you just need a little break and to refocus. But great hire.
You look at guys. You look at guys that have that fire in them. Yeah, you look at guys who have that extra spark and fire in them. Jeremiah Faber has always had that throughout his career. And obviously, he definitely thought about weighing the options, especially this past year. I mean, if an option presented itself, I wouldn't have been surprised if he took it. And now we get this opportunity to come back to the court. Absolute legendary coach over here. Won over 500 games, 560 wins over there with Jasper County, Richland, Hardyville. 3 lower state championships, just nearly winning a couple of state titles over here in the Lowco, most recently in 2019, also the state championship game in 2018. So he has been on the precipice of bringing we've seen a couple coaches, a couple teams get very close to bringing a public school basketball title. Hilton Head got to one. Whale Branch got to one. So, maybe Faber wants to be that guy who puts this Lowco team over the top, and now Whale Branch team.
He wants it.
Yeah, he definitely wants it. He definitely does.
No doubt about it. It's funny, your guy and mine, Alex, Anthony Garzilli. I told him that news, and he sent me a text, a message, or a picture of a magazine article he wrote about Faber. It said he'd found his piece off the court, and he's like, I guess it lasted 3 years. So he's back out there, but he's got a good squad at Whale Branch. I think they'll be interesting in 1A, and he doesn't have to contend with the big charters in 1A. 2A, you got to mess around with your Oceansides, your Grays, and all that stuff. But let's talk about your big event. I hope you're enjoying your victory lap today, AP, because the Lowcountry Legacy Basketball Tournament was your vision. And it was awesome. And I told you at some point after 2 or 3 games, I pulled you aside and said, I'm sure you're stressing like little stuff you're noticing, but let me tell you, nobody else is noticing. Like the big picture is all good here. Everybody's having a great time. The basketball was better than I honestly thought it would be. And we'll roll some highlights while we're talking here, so we can just kind of check it out. People can see what this was all about. But you had it hyped up in there, man. You got Sean on the mic and your DJ. It was a fun environment. It took a little while for everybody to kind of get what the vibe was supposed to be, but once they did, we were having a good time in there.
Right. Yeah. With it being the first year, there's always going to be some improvements, just some hiccups, somewhere within the process. But that's why you got to start somewhere so we can correct it and move forward for next year.
There's AP sucking gas, sucking wind.
Man, I don't even want to repeat what I said as I was walking by the bench. This is a family show.
Well, Alex, tell me about the basketball that you saw. It's great to see a lot of these guys coming back and
AP
get back out there on the court. Just describe how fun it was to see all those guys back on their old stomping grounds, shooting some hoops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely surreal. A little nostalgic as well because it's been years since I've even seen some of these guys suit up and these ladies suit up as well. Salute to Charles.
How about Joe Manda?
Yeah, that was
3 straight threes to bring you back, man. Joe Manda Smalls, Hardyville Hurricanes legend. Look at Cruz.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ooh, that man.
Yeah,
that man tells me he graduated in like 2010, and I can't believe it. That man can still get up.
2010? Wow. Okay.
Cruz played back in the day. Him and Steven, the big dude, and Ford. Ooh, man, they got some ballers on that team.
Mm-hmm.
That team was fun to watch. But no, Joe Manda, she got hot, man. She hit like 3 in a row, and took it from 9
I had to take a step away, but I missed
it. So just tell me about the feedback that you've gotten. Obviously, I mean, everybody I heard was having a great time. They were already telling you, like, we can't wait a year to do this again, right? Like, we got to do one at Christmas.
Man, like next week, basically. But yeah, everybody is excited, man, about the next run. Yeah, they want either a holiday tournament or sometime in the next spring. So we're gonna put our heads together and see what we can do within that time frame. But other than that,
what do we got here? We got Creek. We got Creek in here. Creek Thompson, you're on mute, buddy.
Okay.
But you're on the show. If you can unmute and talk to us. Creek, he put together the Bluffton squad, right? Andrew Thompson, still bearing the nickname Creek because he transferred from Battery Creek while in high school. He put together a good Bluffton squad, man. They had a good run. There we go with Tactical Sergeant Gonzalez, aka Kevin Gonzalez. He had a great tournament. Tournament, man. Came all the way down from Indiana, took leave. He's in the Air Force. He's a recruiter in the Air Force. Look at him with the take. Dude can finish. I mean, he's been working on his game since high school.
Yeah.
You got Lewis Brown. He's a 4 now. He used to be a 2. Ate himself into a 4. LB been. Oh, here we go. Here we go. AP is getting loose now. Matchbox got knocked out, so he's getting loose.
You always know when the camera's on. You gotta always know.
Oh yeah. Bush, he can. There's some cats on that. Both your team and on the Jasper, the original Hardyville team, can stroke it. And there's Warren, Jermaine Patterson wearing somebody else's jersey.
He was last minute pickup. Yeah.
He can still go. And he said he's enrolled at USCB and hoping to be on that squad with the Sand Sharks. And I'd love to see it, man, because dude can still go. He was shooting some threes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He just started jacking at the end because he knew that was their best chance. They had no legs.
Man.
So we're supposed to have like 8 teams, right? And we end up with 4. So we got to play a double elam. Mm-hmm. So that what that means is 2 teams ended up having to play back-to-backs at one point, and they're not made for that at this age.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say hello. My voice is pretty shot. It is pretty shot right now, as you can't tell from all the yelling and screaming. But we had an amazing time. We were pretty proud of ourselves and all the other teams that were there. Everybody did excellent. Appreciate Alex for just putting this together. I remember when me and him had the first conversation about this. I was just like so in tune and ready to do it with him. So I appreciate for him for doing that for the whole, Lowcountry of South Carolina, Bluffton, Hardyville, Jasper, Wade Hampton. Appreciate everybody.
And you guys also, on top of basketball, you had some initiatives you celebrate as well. I believe back to school, you were able to collect some back to school gear, if I'm not mistaken, and some good awareness, to give back to the community.
Yep. Yeah. The primary focus really not only to promote my businesses that sponsor the event, but to just bring awareness to gun violence and mental health awareness for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you got to talk about that a little bit. I'm not sure how much of that was absorbed because it kind of happened in the middle of the a fun and hype environment, and with the sound, it was tough. But I'll give you a little bit of time here to have a platform and talk a little bit more about that if you'd like, just because I know that was a big part of holding this event, and definitely want you to be able to get that word out.
Oh yeah, I mean those two things within the Lowcountry have honestly plagued us for years. Not only myself, but friends of mine and beyond have lost at least someone due to suicide or just gun violence in general. So this is just an opportunity because I'm also a veteran as well. This is something that's really important to me. And the people that I care about and the people that weren't even able to show up. But to just have a platform to speak on that and to just let people know, hey, we're here, your family's here, your friends here, whoever that you need to lean on, do so. Because at the end of the day, you're not in it alone. You have a voice. Everybody is important. Everybody matters to a degree. So just wanted to bring the community together, spread love and positivity, and just let them know we can fellowship and have a great time, through the power of sports.
Yeah, it was awesome like that. And let's take a look at the highlights from the championship game. While I'll turn it down a little bit here. But Bluffton and Wade Hampton made it through the championship game. Wade Hampton undefeated up to this point. Bluffton coming on the back-to-back after knocking off Ridgeland Hardyville in the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And Cruz, there's Cruz again. That man, he had quite a tournament. Malik Ford, he's a coach up at Stall with the kick out. I don't know that cat's name, number 3. You know number 3's name?
Justin Peoples.
Oh, yeah, Justin Peoples. That dude can stroke it still.
Yeah,
he made a
JP.
bunch of threes in this championship game, JP. Here we go again, JP. Looking inside. That's Steven, Big Steve. He's a character.
Bluffton held their own too, though. For playing that back-to-back, they definitely
certainly
they gave it a fight for sure.
Well, and they were really thin at that point because Kinlaw, he bowed out early. He was tightened up. He couldn't go no more.
In the first round.
Yeah, Kinlaw was out early, and Dynasty was out for the championship game. I mean, we have first aid on staff, but there ain't no first aid that can save you from being 35 and trying to play basketball 4 times in one day, 4 games in a day. Reva can shoot it. Don't forget about Reva. Reva Jackson. There's Patterson.
Mm-hmm. And Justin, you got some good footage for sure. You got some up close footage.
I got all over the place, man. I was having fun.
Yeah.
What's that kid's name?
Often fought in this one.
Bryson.
He played during my blind spot when I was at USTB. I didn't follow his career, but he could play a little bit, man. He was banging. He couldn't even walk at the end, but he was still in there banging in the post. Dayton Altacho for 3. I want to co-MC this thing next year, Bo.
Yeah.
LB up the lane.
Heck yeah.
I want to get on there with Sean next year because I know some of the guys he doesn't know, and then we can kind of get going back and forth.
Right. Maybe next time we'll provide him a roster of names of each player.
That might be helpful. Creek with the finish after
the bunny.
Dish.
The old man move.
Creek, you had a dagger 3 though to keep you guys in it in one of those elimination games.
Yeah, just one. The shot was pretty off.
It was a big one though. Isaac Gray, reigning Region 6 2A Player of the Year, playing against the old men. No fair.
Hey, bring another title. Bring in one last title to Wade Hampton. You'd love to see that.
Ford. Malik from D.
I told Hampton they know they
Jermaine,
that title, so they're ready.
See, nobody had any legs to run offense at this point. We're just jacking long
playground balls at this point. Yeah.
It was good. It was fun basketball all day, though. I mean,
sure.
You don't need no shot clock. These boys ain't holding.
Yeah.
Although Bluffton was running some serious offense for a basketball tournament.
And we didn't know they was bringing a secret cheerleader either. Justin, you was like gung ho.
I had to rep. I had to rep Beaufort County because they're the only ones who showed up, man. Like, come on.
Right. Let them know, Justin.
County teams and one Hampton, and we got one Beaufort County team. Like Hilton Head, come on. I know you got better than that. May River's got enough alumni now. Rich Basirko, I know, can put together a squad from Hilton Head Prep. No doubt. Let's get everybody out there.
And speaking of that, how important was it to have this solid blueprint of what you can accomplish in the next coming years to be able to, lay the foundation for what could end up being something special on an annual basis?
For sure, yeah. This is definitely the beginning of something beautiful, man. To be honest, when I started it, I didn't even think about it being an inaugural event or just a continuous event. I just wanted to do something in the community to bring people together and get some hoops in, it was just something I wanted to do, but now it's blossomed, it's evolved to something bigger than I ever imagined. So God is good. For sure.
It was so fun, man. Like really, really happy for you because I know what it's like to have a big vision that's like really hard to put your arms around and has so many moving parts and relies on so many people and like every like step that you make. Yeah, I know Reba. She can ball, man. Here she go again. Oh, she missed that one though.
Yes,
but Dayton's there to clean it up. But no, to see it really come to fruition and like I said to you yesterday, I know that it probably didn't look exactly like you maybe imagined in your like perfect image of it, but it looked a whole lot like it in the big picture, and it's just going to get bigger and better. You learned a lot about what can be improved, and at the end of the day, everybody had a great time, and that's what really matters. But that Wade Hampton squad's going to be tough to beat. Y'all better start recruiting your squads right now. Them boys are coming.
Yeah, we're ready for them. Definitely will be.
All right, the Matchbox. You boys, you ain't getting no new alumni from.
Man, I know. And the crazy, I told them guys and girls, hey, since March, get in the gym, please. They fell on deaf ears, and they got handed to them. So it's a team effort.
Can those Red Devils defend next year?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're gonna. They'll be back ready to take it again. I guarantee you. You'll have to come correct if you're going to take them down. And they'll have some new alumni because they got a bunch of seniors on that Hampton County team this year that are going to be really good players too. So, they get a whole new chapter of alumni history. But it was a great time, man. And I was really fortunate that we bumped into each other that night out at Ridgeland, and you told me about it, and I was able to get involved with it in some small way and then be there and experience it and help you start to lay the foundation for the next one, because I can't wait to do it again, and happy to be a part of it, and really proud of you and happy for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Wes, as well. Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Thank you, everybody.
Creek, thanks for jumping on, man. It was great to see you. Fellas, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll let you get on with your night, and we'll be back to talk a little golf and as well as some soccer awards that came out and some high school football coming up next on the Lowco Sports Lowdown.
Hey, Lowco sports fans. This podcast and all of our grassroots local sports content are made possible by support from community sponsors, including Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate attorneys of Lowco Sports, and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Our original sponsors are still among our greatest supporters. Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson are community pillars who will be in your corner no matter your legal needs. When you need legal representation, call on the attorneys who support Team Lowco. Call Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of Lowco Sports, and the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County. For more than 30 years, the committed, compassionate staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry have been there to ensure your loved ones find comfort, honor, and dignity at the end of life. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports. Jan Lucas and his team provide thorough, detailed home inspections aimed to ensure everyone goes into the transaction with open eyes and confidence. Jan would rather reveal an inconvenient truth than look the other way and provide reassurances that could come back to burn the buyer in the long run. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and need an honest, reliable inspector, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official sponsors of Lowco Sports. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. If your business or organization has a website and you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you need to call on Denise and Dave Sinkovich at DDS Web Design. They'll provide a free consultation and do all the behind-the-scenes work to boost your search engine optimization and get your website found online so you can take your business to the next level. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. American Wood Reface, sustaining sponsors of Lowco Sports. Does your kitchen need a facelift? Before you start picking out new cabinets, give Ben and the team at American Wood Reface a shot. They can reface your existing cabinets to overhaul your aesthetic without the hefty price tag and reimagine your kitchen at a price point you can manage. Be sure to tell them Lowco sent you, because every referral helps support Lowco Sports. 4M Metals, sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports. Got metal? Your roof might need it. Metal roofing advantages include better energy efficiency, weather protection, longevity, a more aesthetically pleasing design, and the product is all green. So if you've been thinking about a new roof, go metal. Let 4M Metals be the difference in your roof. Jay's Barbershop. It's the talk of the town and the place to be in Ridgeland. If you need your ears lowered, head over to Jay's for a fresh cut and great conversation with good folks. And tell them Lowco sent you. Local Pie, official pizza sponsor of Lowco Sports. They sling some of the best pies in the Lowco, and my kids say the mac and cheese is the best around. Hungry? Hit up Local Pie, longtime supporter of Lowco Sports.
Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, the official floor cleaners of Lowcosports.com. If your feet tell you your floors need cleaning, call on Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. They provide residential and commercial services, including cleaning carpet and area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, curtains and drapes, mattresses, and more. But most importantly, they'll get those floors so clean, your feet will thank them. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry.
Hilton Head Prep is a sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports, and we tell you all about the Dolphins' athletic exploits. But did you know it's also the #1 ranked private K-12 school in Beaufort County and ranks in the top 2.5% of schools nationwide? Visit hhprep.org to see what Hilton Head Prep has to offer. Beaufort Academy is a sustaining sponsor of Lowco Sports, and we love covering the Eagles. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 7-1 and an average class size of 14 students, Beaufort Academy could be just the educational solution you're looking for, with more one-on-one attention. BA has a strong history of working with the whole child to prepare each student for college and life. Check them out at BeaufortAcademy.org. Thank you to all of our sustaining and supporting sponsors for their support of Lowcosports.com. Go Lowco.
All right, back here on the Lowco Sports Lowdown, Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr. And Wes, great to talk with those guys about that tournament. I did want to shout out a few new sponsors that will be joining us. Our calendar year flipping over tomorrow on August 1st. So we've got some new sponsors on for this year, including Eagle Creations, supporting our May River football coverage, as well as joining the Lowco Booster Club. You can join the Lowco Booster Club for just $50 a month or $500 a year. Also, Mickelson Law Firm back, our first sponsor ever. They are back on as one of our biggest sponsors, our sustaining sponsors, and our official law firm, real estate law firm of Lowco Sports. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry coming back with us for another year. Love the folks over there and the work that they do in our community, and look forward to working with them to really get the word out about their services more this year. Homegrown Home Inspections is coming back again as well. Jan and the folks over there, if you need a home inspection, best in the business in the area. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness has joined us. You need to get over there to Belfair Town Village, especially this time of year. Get hydrated, get your cocktail of fluids, get feeling better and feeling yourself. And especially if you're doing anything physical, as well as Rooted Living Wellness, another Lowco Booster Club member. Great chiropractic firm. They'll take care of your whole body and get you feeling right, especially those athletes. Barefoot Floor Care, the Lowcountry coming back once again in the Lowco Booster Club, as well as DDS Web Design, one of our varsity sponsors, and a brand new varsity sponsor, Parker Law Group, our friends out in Ridgeland, Hampton, and Walterboro, joining us as a varsity sponsor. So thanks to all the folks who keep us going, year round, and as well as those who are supporting our high school football coverage this year. We do need more sponsors for that. We've got a lot that we've been working on. We're looking forward to unveiling. Some of it's starting to trickle out already, but we definitely need your support to keep this thing going and growing so that we can continue to shine a light on these kids here in the Lowco. And speaking of which, Wes, how about the performance from the Lowco squad out at the Jimmy Self Invitational at Palmetto Dunes? I was finally able to get out to the Fazio course today and see the finale, and I was glad I did because the Lowco kept all the hardware at home. Garret Fader winning the boys division, and Lexi Milbrandt taking home the girls title. And that was awesome to see. Luke Block, also from Bluffton, made a great charge and was runner-up in the boys division, shooting 100 today. So just an awesome showing from all of them. I saw a lot of old friends out there. Chris Tremblay from the JPGA coached up Garret, and so he was out there celebrating with him, and our old friend Billy Sampson from Spring Island Club. Old Tabby Links out on Spring Island, was out there cheering on Lexi because he's worked with her. So they both got shout outs in the victory speech, which is a good feeling. And unfortunately, I had interviews that I did with both the winners that I had a problem. My memory card malfunctioned and those did not save. So we'll have to get them on the podcast. If you're listening, kids, you got my card today. We'll get you on the podcast. We'll talk more about it, but had great talks with both of them. They both, are on that recruiting journey. Garret just finished up at Hilton Head Prep. He's actually taken a gap year to play a lot of golf and try to find a spot where he can play. It's amazing to me that he doesn't already have an opportunity, a really good player, and a great win for him today. And then Lexi going into her junior year. So big year for her. She's got her priorities in order. She wants to play golf near the beach and, a nice warm place near the beach. Division doesn't matter. Let's go play golf near the beach. Yeah. And I can respect that. So best of luck to both of them, but great playing this week.
Yeah, great to see a Lowco sweep over there at Jimmy Self. Just would have been a very prestigious junior tournament around here, but Lexi, getting their priorities straight. You want to stay near the water. I don't blame her. It's beautiful. I mean, how can you leave over here on the island and when you're right close to the beach? It's a nice place to be able to do the things you love, playing golf and then being out there in the water. So I think she's going to find a fit there where she can do both. Obviously, a big junior year, looking to make a name for herself. Always a big important point of your high school career. But then Fader, I mean, what an exceptional last couple of years he's had here, and then cap it off with another tournament championship.
So, sounds like you got our storm over there, buddy.
Yeah,
blew off your way.
The Thunder is coming over here on the island, and that was loud, but yeah, Fader making some noise of his own with that tournament title. That it just it speaks to the you mentioned these other guys who block with a nice showing as well. And the depth here, both boys and girls golf and Lowco, and just continuing to rise, not just in public but private schools, really across the board, where we can see these players competing right with each other on either side of things. Are not just our coaches, but just the pros in general.
The resources that they have. Yes,
it's second. It really is.
Yeah, to be able to work with a Chris Tremblay or Bill Sampson, and that's not even to get into the Tim Cooks and those people that we have access to here. It's really a special thing, and I think I was talking with both Garret and with the girls, with Lexi as well as Robin Zatror, who had a good showing from May River, and Claire Green, who wasn't playing but was just out there supporting Robin and her friends. We're all talking about that. I think there's an opportunity to get more golfers from this area better recruited. I think that's the one thing we're kind of missing. We have the trainers to get their game in shape, but but they feel like they're all having a hard time, and the same difficulties that a lot of kids and parents have navigating the recruiting game. And that's something I've been talking to a lot of people about, how we can help get that information to the people who need it in a better way. And we're going to be doing some things on that front to try to bring some voices together who have different areas of expertise and knowledge to put together that roadmap to help kids get to where they want to be, or at least as close to it as they can get. And so that'll be coming down the pike. And I think golf is a great place to start because we have such a depth of talent here, and we're in a golf place. So, it's an easy thing. Lexi, by the way, took part in the Congreve Global Golf Initiative that you were able to cover a while back. She was part of that this summer and said it was tremendous. So she is well on her way. She's on the right path already.
What a great experience that is. You get to meet all these international golfers, world-class trainers, had pros over there, and that's just a once-in-a-lifetime experience, not just to be around other budding junior golfers, but to play on a championship-level course in Congreve and have that kind of ability to work with some outstanding golfers, people in the industry. And, they don't just help you golf, they help you navigate the college admissions process, help you on your standardized testing to get you ready for what you need to do to navigate that recruiting game. And that's invaluable for these kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, and as we look at the girls leaderboard here, Lexi, she felt like she did not have her best game this week at all, and her scores would show that. She came out and shot 71 and had a 5-shot lead after the first round, and then she was able to just kind of go on autopilot and play conservatively. And I think it's kind of difficult when you're geared up for a big tournament and you get that big lead, and then you have to go into a more conservative mode. I think that can be tough for a golfer, and they can have some loose swings here and there. But she played very smart, and she was proud of the way she played smart the rest of the way, and just held everyone at bay. And she led by 5 after 1. She won by 3. Didn't really have any trouble there, and she's poised for a really big year for Hilton Head High, I think.
Well, yeah, absolutely. She has certainly proved herself, and that level of talent to win a tournament like this, hold on to a lead, speaks a lot for herself. And I meant to put another topic on the rundown. It happened a week ago. Probably may have a clue on what it is, but Brian Harmon, champion golfer of the year.
That's right. Brian Harmon. We have some great banter about Brian Harmon on our newest podcast, Distant Replay, where Bob Stevens, WHHI newsman that is former SportsCenter anchor, and he's running point with Curry Kirkpatrick, your old friend, who is a Hall of Fame legend sports writer, retired from Sports Illustrated many years ago, and then Rich Vasirico, who is like the sage of the Lowcountry. So you've got these three guys, and it grew from their breakfast meetings at Plantation Cafe, and now we've turned it into a podcast and going to be a show on WHHI as well. First episode was, it was kind of the trial run, the pilot. Curry had about 3 pages of notes, mostly criticizing himself, but it was terrific. I mean, the conversation was great. It was sharp. They had some great banter about Brian Harmon, and even alluded to the fact that I covered the first event I covered when I got here in 2005 was Brian Harmon winning the Players Amateur at Belfair. And he was this brash young kid who, couldn't tell him nothing. And to see him, as this bald-headed grown man with a family who won the British Open a week ago Sunday was really a cool thing for me, as just kind of putting bookends on your career, so to speak. Yeah. Pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and I mean, just talking about your experience with them, and just seeing stuff about these event reporters and being able to cover all areas of them throughout his journey, from the amateur status to now a open champion. That's such a rewarding part of this profession, to see these guys at the local level and see those journeys full circle to the top. It's Brian Harmon, what a special young man. He's been closing in on this point. I mean, he has had his name up there at a bunch of major championships. To see him go out to that big lead on Friday and then find a way to just continue the solid play he had out there despite a couple of big names chasing him, able to stay the course. And maybe for a few holes, but other than that, it looked never in doubt. He just had that level where he was not going to relinquish this lead, and you just knew that this was his moment, and it was.
Yeah, no question. He was kind of like Lexi was in this tournament. I mean, obviously bigger stage, but same kind of thing. He just got that lead and he sat on it, and there was no way he was going to let anybody catch him. He knew as long as he didn't lose the tournament, it was his to win, and he took care of business. So very cool thing to see, and I'm supposed to be writing something about him for South Magazine, trying to get that hookup. So looking forward to that, reconnecting with him. But one more note on this golf tournament, and then we'll move on. But Fader coming out shooting 69 today. He was a couple shots back going into the final round, so that was a good rally from him. And Luke Block again, 69 from him. He ends up at 5 over and kind of backs into runner-up finish, but he earned it certainly with that 69 today. And I had a great talk with him. We don't get to see him much. He trains in the Bahamas. He goes to a golf academy in the Bahamas. I talked with him a good bit though. Only 25 kids, only 25 students. He's one of about 5 Americans, so really diverse international group, and really a cool experience. So I think we're going to try to get him on the podcast sometime too to share that experience with us. But great showing from him. And then Cade Kriskunas also top 5, and I think Tad Graziano was right in there too. T14, great showing from the prep boys, they were calling themselves as they post their photos. So, and saw our old friend John Farrell out there as well. But let's shift gears, talk a little bit of soccer, Wes, because soccer, I know it's not Lowco FC season, but they just now we do have Women's World Cup going on, which is a good time so far. That Netherlands game was really fun. But Beaufort, boys and girls, sweeping the, we can't really talk because we haven't put out an all Lowco team yet, but the overdue Region Player of the Year awards, the goalie, the keeper, but not the one you would think of, the boys keeper, Nigel Troy Bell, the Player of the Year. And then who's the girls player? Selena Duncan? Yeah, Selena Duncan, the girls player of the year. So well-deserved and terrific seasons for both those squads. A little surprising that Quinn Wilson maybe wasn't the player of the year, but Selena had a terrific year in the field. And I think Quinn missed some time.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to go goalie and give it to Bell and Quinn Wilson, but Duncan, a terrific pick. We're in the process of making our own picks. We're going to have our own local teams coming out very soon for our spring sports. So soccer, baseball, softball, track and field, lacrosse, we got them all covered, and we'll have them out soon. But this was a great story to see what Beaufort, especially what the boys did. True underdog mentality all the way to the state championship game. That was a really fun group to cover. Nigel Bell with some absolute huge points, especially in that penalty kick. To get him to that state championship game, and in that state final, doing everything to keep him in it. He was absolutely dialed in and made some exceptional saves in that championship game. At least 5-6 of them were terrific saves that he had to.
Yeah, he was the only reason that game was competitive, to be quite honest. He was phenomenal because they were just kind of overmatched. That was a really tough matchup. But he was terrific, and he really kept them in it. I mean, they fought. He was terrific. Woo! It is storming on the island, y'all. And some more soccer news. Misa Garzone, our best friend, our best Lowco friend, and your Lowco FC podcast co-host, voted the vice president of the South Carolina High School Soccer Coaches Association, which is another well-deserved appointment. And Misa, he is such a student of the game and a student of coaching and a great mentor and leader and a great friend to everybody who is fortunate enough to call him one, I think. So many congrats to him, and I know he'll keep everybody in order.
He was the first or one of the first to listen to our inaugural podcast.
He listened to the original Island Packet Sports podcast way back in the day, and there were only about 9 people who listened to that. I can attest. But he's a great guy, and and he'll do a great job in that role. And certainly the high school soccer coaches will benefit across the state from that. But let's talk high school football because it's almost time. We got a little more recruiting news with Keith Chisholm. We know him as, but he's starting to go by KJ now, so we'll oblige. KJ Chisholm from Whale Branch picking up another offer. I think this is 9 for him. This one coming from Jackson State, and Jackson State happens to have a couple of Whale Branch guys on the roster already because Irv Mulligan and Jaheim Hazel both transferred over there from Wofford as graduate transfers. So got a little Lowco pipeline going down to Jackson State, and KJ may be interested there, although that App State offer still looms large.
Yeah, and actually could join another Lowco friend. So a lot of different tie-ins from our alumni around the area. But KJ Chisholm, he has been a stud, especially defensively at corner, ball hawking cornerback who racked up 8 or 9 interceptions 2 years ago, and has been just an electric playmaker out there on the outside field, coming up with huge plays on the defensive end. But man, the compete level that he shows out in the field, he's a special breed out there, and Jerry Hatcher has cultivated something special with him. That program has brought about a number of stars, but Chisholm has been really, really fun to watch, and I'm excited to see what he can do this year for Whale Branch team as we can segue into our final segment here today, which is first of all, we have a new state championship host this year. It won't be at Bennett College. It will be at South Carolina State Orangeburg, where the high school league state championship games will be. So in spirit of that, of this new news, let's go around and talk about some of the teams that we might think that will end up there, or have the best chance to end up there at the first weekend of December, November 30th through December 2nd, when the state championship games will be held. So, I mean, obviously, Buford High is the first one that comes to mind, defending champs, but certainly going to be a tougher road back with those key pieces from last year's team, and Colton Ferris, as well as Casey Field. Some of those electric backs are gone. Colton Ferris he left his mark everywhere on the field, defensively and special teams. So that is going to be hard to replace. Sometimes you just can't replace a guy like that, a multi 2-3-way star. So definitely going to have some work cut out for them. But Bryce Libran, proven so many times that he gets the most out of every guy he puts out there on the field, and you can never bet against him when those big games come around.
Yeah, and I talked to him on Friday, and he was really excited about how things were tracking. I mean, we're a long way from home, but he's excited about how it's going. Feels like everybody's pretty well bought in. You always have a couple of guys that kind of ghost around the summer, and you got to get them back in line when they get back to school and all that stuff. But, he likes what they have. They've got a lot of interchangeable parts like they typically do. They got Amari Patterson, really, really talented young freshman coming over from Ridgeland. And he's got a lot to learn still, and may still end up on JV or splitting some time, but he's got it in him. He's a big time talent. They've got a lot of guys back, and there's no one person who's going to replace Colton Ferris. It's just not possible. He was 3 guys. I mean, he was a whole guy in every facet of the game, and so that's not going to happen. But Hudson Mullen, is at safety, and he's a big hawking guy who likes to hit people, and you can see that working out. They got really good linebackers coming back. Will Cotting was so good last year. Talbert was a really stalwart guy, but he's a smaller guy, and they got guys that can plug in there. Keon Rivers is back. They got a lot of talent coming back on that side of the ball, and a lot of young athletes. I think his biggest concern was at center. Hart Cushman was really a rock at center. And that's a tough thing to replace. He feels real good about the other 4 spots, but they're waiting for somebody to really step up and grab that one by the horns. So we'll see what comes out of camp there. They got some guys who can run the ball. Samari can sling it. They got some guys who can get open. So they're going to be a problem for everybody. I think they're the slam dunk team that has the best shot to get there. But I think the outside, the dark horse is Hampton County. For me, it's a tough road because, again, in 2A you got to deal with the charters, the big charters. You got to get through Oceanside, who handed it to them last year. But this Hampton County team, we'll see how all the Estill guys buy in, and I know that's going to be a process. But
there's a lot of
but the big guys are bought in. Xavier Garvin is bought in. Kayvon Chisholm is bought in. DeMonte Mathis is bought in.
So it's going to be the interesting question, because these guys compete against each other. How can they, develop that chemistry and bonding with I
think it's already happened with the ones who have bought in. Now, not everyone has bought in, but I think with the ones who have been there through the spring, through the summer, and now they're going into their camp. They have their 4-day camp next week, and that's kind of the, make or break time. I think that the ones who are in, and that's good. But we'll see which of the others come along. And I don't think that's going to make or break the team by any means. I think they've got what they need. But there are definitely probably still some pieces floating out there that if they came into the fold, could solidify things. So we'll see how that develops over the course of the year. But I know Rob Hanna, I talked with him at Link the other day, and he's really excited. I talked with Chris Myers as well, who's now over there as the co-offensive coordinator. Hanna is fired up about the staff he has. He's really excited about the guys who have been bought in over the summer and ready to get going. So, I think that team has a real chance to make a run all the way to Orangeburg and maybe win it all. And I never discount Whale Branch, because 1A football is what it is. And we saw what happened to them last year, right? They were a real threat, and then 2 injuries and their season was kind of lost. And the same thing can happen to anybody at that level. And you can be the team that benefits from it, So I think they're right there in the mix. They've got Daryl Cummings is coming in from Georgia. They thought they had him coming in last year, and it didn't work out. He was planning to move over, and I guess for whatever reason wasn't able to. His family's moving over. He's got family here. Good running back, linebacker guy. They learned last year you can never have too many of those, because a bunch of them got hurt. They've got some guys coming back. Mason Griffin, we'll see how healthy he is. The young quarterback, Jermon Bowers, they're really excited about. And, that if he can do it, then KJ can be a threat at wide receiver as well, which you mentioned he had 9 or 10 interceptions a couple of years ago. He didn't have that many last year, because I don't think they threw it that way that many times last year. They knew where he was, and it wasn't going that side. Not very often, if you could avoid it. But,
and then Bradford Thompson,
love that guy. Well, you want to talk about beasts. They got some dudes. They got a guy, and I thought I had this pulled up here handy, but they got some guys that are absolute monsters coming in on this offensive line. I want to tell you this one guy's measurements, because I don't want to misquote it. You'll think I made it up if I do. Isaiah Evans, he missed last season with an injury. He's 6'7", 350, and he's a junior.
That's huge, especially for one program to have that kind of size on the offense.
That's the second coming of Xavier Chaplin. He's back. And our guy Casser Middleton says he got a dog in him. So if Casser says that, then
I'm sold there. Yeah.
If Casser said he's got a dog in him, he's got a dog in him. Yeah, I think so. And then in 4A, I'll be honest, James Island is the Region 7 4A team that has the best chance to go. But I may have stirred up a hornet's nest when I could only include one 4A team in my poll on Twitter, and I made that team Bluffton. And, I don't know how anybody feels about that. They may feel some type of way about it, but in my estimation, at least on paper at this juncture, that looks like the best of the 4 Lowco teams in 7-4A. Agreed?
Yeah, I think the margin is closer. I'm not sure what I expect. For May River, obviously
that's the X factor. That's the X factor.
Yeah.
But talent-wise on paper, what's coming back and what's there, it looks like Bluffton would have the advantage there. I think that the sleeper I think Hilton Head's a little bit. I think that's going to be a very competitive region. I think Hilton Head is a little sneaky. They're going to be really good on defense, and the offense will be better. Just because I think the continuity of just having one quarterback is good. Temco is a dog, and so they're going to be a problem. And then Colleton County, I'm telling you, There is hype there. And so, it could peter out if it doesn't go well out of the gate. But if they can win a couple games out of their first 3 or 4, watch out, because Kinlaw's got them fired up. And if they can get a little confidence, they'll be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a team that's waiting to break out. And with a coach that can really find ways to give them that opportunity to take that next step, which I think Kinlaw has a great chance to do, it's possible that they can steal 1 or 2 big games in region play. And if that happens, then watch out. We could have a very, very interesting race in the final few weeks. So another wild card to keep an eye on. I mean, obviously, I do think, Lucy Beckham, James Island are right there at the top. See what Beckham, they got a couple of guys coming back too. But James Island has really impressed me with
James Island's really good. Yeah. And McCoy is a very good coach. I mean, I think they're kind of the clear-cut favorite. But then I think 2 through 6 is kind of a mishmash. I think it could go a lot of different ways.
It's going to be, these games are going to be competitive. And then
that's what's fun, because then that means every Friday night is just a grab bag. You have no idea what you're going to get. And it's going to be really fun every Friday night, I think. And again, I'll pump the brakes on Colleton. I'm not trying to say Colleton's winning a state championship or a region title or anything this year, but I'm saying there's an energy there that has been sorely lacking for a while. And Kinlock has lit a fire, and he's got a bunch of kids out, and he's got a huge coaching staff. They're really invested in letting him go out and bring some guys in to work in the building and be coaches. And I talked with him at length the other day too, and he was fired up, and it was all good things to say. And I think they found a quarterback too. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think they scrimmage next week. We got to get a scrimmage schedule. Coaches, hit us up with that scrimmage schedule. We got to find out. We got to get out and see some. I know Hampton's going to. I think Milbrandt is going to Hampton, or vice versa, on Thursday. So I might have to check that out. But it's almost here, man. And it's going to be really fun. We can stop talking about it and start telling people what happened very soon.
We're getting close. Yeah.
I've been in the weeds typing out, all kinds of football preview stuff. So I feel like I'm already fired up and ready to talk about it, but we'll pump the brakes a little bit until it gets a little closer. But good times tonight. Great to talk with Alex and Creek, Andrew Thompson. That was such a great event. I'm really excited for what's to come with that. I think there's big potential there. It was great to make a bunch of new friends from out in Hampton, and a few Jasper County folks I didn't know before, and to see a bunch of kids that I covered back in the day at Bluffton High School who are, now grown and have families of their own and careers, and super cool to reconnect with all of them and have that moment. But looking forward to the next one for sure. And we definitely, hopefully you'll be in town for the next one, Wes, because you would have loved it. It was a great time.
I'll definitely put it on my calendar once we get set, whether it's going to be summer again or maybe a holiday thing. Either way,
we're talking about maybe we could do a holiday thing and then do a summer thing, a biannual type thing. So AP and I are going to put our heads together. We both got a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas, and I'm sure there are lots of other people who do as well, who will throw their ideas in the ring. But we're going to come back bigger and better and get more teams in there next year for sure. I'm going to start recruiting some alumni squads of folks I want to see next year. So going to be a good time. But thanks so much, Wes. Thanks to Alex Percival and Andrew Thompson for jumping on with us. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and apologies to Lexi and Garret. They gave great interviews. They were so nervous to give interviews, but they did a great job, and the technology let us down today. But we'll get you on the podcast real soon to talk more about all your success and your plans for the future, and help you find that path to keep being great. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks so much to everyone who made it possible and everyone who was a part of it. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.